Going.
We're live! Hey! Holy shit, I didn't think we were going to make it. So, this is the Bad GM YouTube channel. I am the Bad GM, Wayne Davis.
I'm Gabe.
Hey, let's get Reggie in.
This is Reggie the Lemur.
If you show up at Archon, you will see Reggie. You can get your picture taken with Reggie. Reggie, he's a bigger celebrity than we are.
Yeah.
So, then again, that's not saying much.
No, it's not.
But, so we promised you a live show. We're going to give you a live show. Gabe's got our topics as chosen by the folks who've come by and seen us over the last day and change. You give us the topic, we'll talk about it.
Yep.
So,
which one do you want to start with?
when we start with the top of the list, that's the best way to go.
All right. So, I have only GM'd once, but you, the bad GM, which do you prefer, GMing or being a player?
I got to be honest. 99 out of 100 times, I would rather be the GM. But since I've been running our game, I've been running games for our group almost nonstop for 4 years, 5 years,
something like that.
I'd love a break.
So,
and we both know the reason for that is Jim is our other GM.
Yes.
And the last time he went to start a game, he wound up getting a job where he had to work weekends.
Yeah.
So I'm almost immediately back in.
So why is it that you would rather be the GM on a regular schedule than a player?
Getting to tell the story that I want to tell.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, I don't want to do it all the time. I don't want to be a forever GM. I know there's a lot of people who like being a forever GM. That ain't my style, man. I like to play. So with my Wednesday group, I'm going to start GMing after our GM, who is currently GMing, transitions into his new job. He's got to train until mid-December, so I'm taking over just so we don't have to stop. Right.
I GM'd for my sister, my brother-in-law, Tyler, his girlfriend, and my little brother, Max.
Right.
I did a one-shot. I was like, all right. I asked him afterwards, I'm like, all right, how did I do? He's like, for your first time and this being a spur-of-the-moment thing, you did excellent.
Right.
I'm like, okay, cool. So I can actually, I can do this.
Well, and for those that are watching, Tyler and Max are part of our group. You can catch their pictures on our website. And we have another one of our players actually here. Clayton is on the other side of the camera. At some point, we might get him back here to wave and say hi. But
I actually need to add him to the website.
Yeah, we haven't. He's cosplaying this weekend. So, but yeah, we'll get him around.
Come over and say hi.
Yeah, he's gonna come over and say hi.
Hey, everybody.
Say hello. Yes.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Well, your Fallout game is my first game.
So, technically, you were in for the tail end of the tail end of Deadlands. But yes, we created a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the new age gamer.
So how are you liking to play?
You might want to lean in a little bit.
Yeah, lean into the mic.
having a lot of fun with it. So.
Right.
That's good. What's your favorite part about playing so far?
I don't know. It's just a nice change of pace out of the reality of everything.
Ding.
Yep. That's why a lot of us do it.
Ding.
And it's a good group to play with. So that's for sure.
We do have our ups and downs.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah, that's for sure. Everybody does.
And I've talked about that. I've talked about that on the podcast, both the podcasts from time to time. We are the ADD gaming group.
Yes,
because we'll be mid scene and all of a sudden be like squirrel.
It's usually coming from one corner or the other.
Or in some cases, it's just like, hey, we're talking to this guy normally, and then we don't like what he says. Let's kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are a group that wants to be role players that turn into murder hobos.
That's very true.
I want to say that it's not all of us turn into murder hobos. It's some domino falls and then it just cascades and it's on from there.
I love how nobody's pointing fingers, but everybody knows. All three of us know who. Yeah.
It's one of like three people. Come on.
That's very true.
Yeah, and none of them are watching this. I mean, you can call them out. I mean, no, I know. Actually, one of them might be watching. He's off today, so.
I know we're thinking of one person in particular. I wonder if we're thinking of the other two at the same people.
I don't know. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that off of
podcast.
Off of podcast, yeah. That would probably be in our best interest.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right. So our next item here,
That's a good question.
role playing versus hack and slash.
Right.
Where do you fall? You experienced what should be role play, but turned into
Hack and slash.
As we were just talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's funny is if you think what we're doing right now is hack and slash.
I wouldn't say. I'd say it's like a blend of.
Yeah, because I mean we go through sessions where it's a lot of role playing. You can tell people are getting really
Into it
or bored. Yeah, I mean I was in a group. The group that I was in up till 2000 when I moved back home. Sorry, we're getting distracted. My grandson has returned. We gotta watch the 2-year-old. But anyway, the group that I was in until 2000 when I came home, that was hack and slash. I mean, it was pillage, loot. So yeah, that's what we did. I like them both for different reasons. I like the role play because it's a challenge.
Yes.
But then there's times that you just want to go in and you just want
mind numbing. I
Right.
want to attack. I want to attack. I want to attack. I want to loot that body. Then I want to attack.
It's why it's the thing when why do I like playing Assassin's Creed?
I get to go around killing things all the time.
Dang, and it's legal.
Yes.
That's
Nobody actually gets hurt.
right. So yeah, that's
For me, I prefer a blend of the two. I like the role play because it challenges me, and I feel like I get better at it the more I do it,
right.
and it helps with improv and thinking on your feet, and those can be applied to like real world scenarios.
Right.
So the better I get at thinking on my feet, the better I can do just in customer service or in a interview setting. I feel like.
Look at you being all serious.
Well, it's a podcast.
No, I know.
But like you said, there is a time and a place for hack and slash, and sometimes I'm just like, I'm bored of role playing. I just want to kill things.
Well, it's like when we were talking. I was talking about in one episode of the campaign build along when I was doing the recap. Oh, yeah, you guys are sitting there and you're perfectly role playing through the situation at iRobotics, and then without skipping a beat, Jim's like, I shoot him in the head. I'm like,
well, that okay.
And
so
that was it. That was a literal what the frick? What? Because he's the last person I would have expected to do it.
To be fair, during that moment, I was there for that. During that moment, somebody let something slip, and we saw the expression changed on the guy's face, and we're like, okay, no, he's got to die. If Jim hadn't done it, it would have been me.
Yeah. I said it was Scott that let the thing slip. So
Yeah.
he's been called out.
Yeah. All right, so you have anything to add, Clayton?
No, I kind of just like mix and match the two. So
He's just being another pretty face.
yeah.
Actually, I think he's gonna go deal with his son. So
All right. What is the most annoying things someone can or has done at your table?
I don't like rules lawyers.
That's fair.
I don't. I just because
Rules cool.
to me the GM's decision is the GM's decision.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, I can understand that you would like to have an explanation why that went there.
I get that.
But once I've given that explanation, that's it. That should be it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. You can walk around with your ass on your shoulders if you want. I try to do that same thing when somebody else is running a game. I don't have to like your decision. I don't have to agree with your decision. I can think your decision is the drizzling shits, but it's your game. It's your call.
It's true.
And that pisses me off more than anything. So,
Did you say why?
I think it kind of is
Yeah,
part of all of that.
that's what it sounded like to me. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, hang on here. How about you?
So I don't mind side talk, but when side talk leads to, so if say Jim's running,
Right.
you and I are talking like, hey, this is what I'm planning on doing, assuming things go the way we think they're going to go. This is what I think my character is going to do.
Right.
And then it cascades because you and I are talking quietly. The other three across the table start, they're talking, so we're going to start talking about random shit.
Right.
That annoys me. And then when it gets out of hand, the whole table starts doing it. I really can't stand that.
Right. Well, here the other one that kind of gets me is when it starts turning into a complete metagaming situation where you have people that are sitting there and they're like, oh well, okay, so they're going to do this because this is what they do, and like Jim is this kind of person, so when he's running the game, he's going to do things this way, so this is how I'm going to do it. You don't know that.
Well, yeah, no, that's why I specified this is what I think my character's going to do.
Right. Well, I mean, there's also, to me, I think to a certain point, that's puberty. Such a second time around. There's a certain point to which I think that's okay. But I think there's a point at which it becomes too much because you're trying to think too far out, and it's like, in the moment you wouldn't be able to get that much in.
Right. So I guess I go back to the example of D&D as a 6-second round during combat. I'm thinking, well, my next turn is going to be this way. And obviously, your character can't see everything that's happening on the field.
No.
So I'm thinking, I'm a wizard. I'm going to cast Fireball, or I'm a warlock. I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast. I don't care who's in front of me. I care who's in front of me. If it's a teammate, obviously I'm not going to do that. Because if they move into my line of sight,
sounds like somebody we've played with.
Yeah.
I didn't ask who was there. I said I'm casting Fireball.
Obviously, if I see them within my line of sight, I can tell that they're there. They've moved into my line of vision, but I can't tell who's to the sides of me without taking a quick glance.
Right.
And I will act accordingly, or at least the way I think my character should. But I agree with the whole, all right, in 2 turns I'm going to do this because you're doing this.
No, I think it is a basic courtesy to be trying to think around ahead. I don't have a problem with that, but yeah, it's that person that's trying to play chess, trying to think 3 moves ahead. It's like, dude, you can't. If you're in the moment like this, you wouldn't be able to think that far ahead.
Right.
Now, if your group is surveying a situation, then it can be like, okay, if they do this, this is what we're going to do.
Right.
And you can
make alternate plans for different circumstances.
Right. It's the person that has to, like, you'll find frequently those are the people who alphabetize their underwear drawer.
Color coded it as well. Monday through Friday.
Well, or is yeah. How would you like it? Color coordinated or by season?
Yes. Back to your point of metagaming. Since I listen to the podcasts that we produce,
right,
and I listen for the content. I listen to it while I'm working out or while I'm driving.
You're also the quality assurance
yes.
person who calls me and busts my balls when I get something wrong.
This is true. That's another reason why I listen. But because I've been listening, I know what's going to happen, and it's adding an extra, like, I can know what's happening and not metagame because I have been practicing. Not like, I know what's going to happen. I'm playing. I can't bring this up. I myself, if somebody else brings it up, then I can jump in.
Right. And then because with the campaign build along where we're at right now, and I told you when we were at lunch, we kind of had a discussion about this because he has a pretty good idea of where things are going.
That's what happens when you have an ADHD brain. You can auto predict.
Right.
It sucks.
We're still probably 2 or 3 sessions ahead on the show, but my group is rapidly catching up. Partially because I let them do it, and partially because,
we just shoot through material.
Yeah, in like 3 hours.
In the oddest ways too.
Well, yeah, but mini nukes.
It's your fault for giving him so many.
Well, as I said in the show, I did that because we were supposed to go this way, and like you said, we didn't go this way. We went like this way.
Yeah, we zigzagged across.
Basically, took everything we did. You basically took it and went, yeah, no, fuck that. But
But yeah, no, I can't. So part of the metagaming thing, I think, is like characters, like people try to not metagame and like, oh, I don't know if my character can do this. Well, is that common knowledge? Like, would your character know to pick up rocks so they can throw it as a distraction? Okay. Sure, like you could do, that in real life. Your character's not dumb. I mean, you don't have an int score of
right, but okay,
of -2.
Right, but then there's also, because this has happened, and I'm not saying this to call out the person who did it, but it's been argued at my table before. Well, I know that this and this mixed together will make gunpowder.
Yes.
Why can't my character do that? And it's like, well, because you're in
a medieval setting,
right? Where
is the main reason,
right? Where people don't know that. Well, in medieval times, the Chinese knew how to do it. Are you Chinese? No.
Then there you go.
Then there's your answer. And I think that's it's where you have to be careful.
It's a catch-22.
No, it is, because if you do it now, you've opened Pandora's box, and you ain't ever going to get her back in it. But if you don't do it, now you got somebody sitting there again, their ass on their shoulders for half an hour or so because you didn't let them do what they wanted to do.
Right.
At the end of the day, you got to make the decision what's best for the group as a whole.
Well, not just best for the group, but I think best for the story. Because ultimately, you as the GM, you're trying to tell a story. Mm-hmm. And we are just characters in that story. Right. We are facilitating the story. Don't get me wrong. But if somebody tries to do something like that, like we did with the blooper in Firefly.
Okay, so we have to tell the story on this one. I ran. God, how long ago has that been? 3 years? 4 years?
Something like that. Yeah.
It's been a hell of a long time. I ran
I think it's been longer than that.
It has.
I came back into the group at that point.
Oh, that's right. And I don't think
it's been well over 8 years.
That's what I was just saying. I don't think Sarah was okay. Anyway, so I ran a Firefly game. For those of you who know Firefly and Serenity, I was running the game, and a couple of wise guys,
me and Scott,
decided they were going to try to because they
we're trying to science some stuff. We're trying to make our own cloaking device.
Right, and what they actually wound up creating because
of some bad rolls and some really good rolls.
Bad rolls in the wrong places,
yes.
Right rolls in the right places.
Yep.
Created something that would actually teleport whatever they were aiming at away. They called it the blooper. Yes. I never decided where, but every time they talk about wanting to go back to Firefly, I keep telling them, great, we're going to start in the place you blooped everything into.
Oh my God, it's like,
because that became their weapon of choice. It's like, well, we're not going to fire anything. We're going to use the blooper. And and
we tin canned an entire ship.
That is called the GM being a dumbass and allowing that to happen.
We went as far as to try to make a bloop-proof suit.
How well did that work?
The person we put in it was Tyler, and the first time we used it, he was fine-ish.
Fine-ish, yeah.
He immediately took the helmet off and went,
mm-hmm. So before we do anything else, I want to take a second, welcome everybody that's just now maybe jumping in on us. We are live at Archon 46. We are in the game room, which is why you're hearing a lot of
background noise.
Commotion, baby. It's gaming. It's what we do.
It's ambiance.
Yep. We're going to be around a few more hours at least today. 8 o'clock is the oh crap! I just lost the Masquerade. Wow. I've been up too long. But yeah, lots of games still going on. There'll be games tomorrow. All the cool shit is going on.
They're selling a lot of cool stuff in the, what is that room?
Dealer room?
The dealer room, thank you. There's some freeze-dried candy in there. A lot of artwork in the hall leading up to the dealer room. I have bought several pieces already. Mm-hmm. Supporting our local artists. Bought some dice.
Come by and stick your hand in the Mimic. You can get a Kit Kat.
We also got stickers. Just to show you bad GM stickers. Whoops.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeet your laptop off the back of the table. There's a great idea. Fix that tech boy.
It wouldn't be a problem. I've done it before.
That's what frightens me. Also, I wanted to point out, I've mentioned on Role-Playing History a couple of times that at some point in time, the show may take another format. Don't know if we do something exactly like this, but it's giving us an opportunity to try something a little bit different because we knew we wanted to do something live from here because people are always like, why don't you try something different?
This is something different.
And all of this, the stuff, or at least up to the next question, is stuff that folks that are here at the convention have kind of asked us questions about, sort of. So we kind of let them pick the topics. So what is the last one on our list of 4?
What is the most annoying thing you've done at the table?
Most annoying thing I've done at the table? Ooh, let me.
It's been a while since you've actually sat at the table as a player.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we can go back to the last D&D game we ran, when, again, I was having a discussion with someone who was being a rules lawyer, and I got pissed off and basically in the middle of everybody said, "That's it, I'm done. The game's over. I'm going to pack up and leave."
That was very annoying.
Yes, pissed a lot of people off.
It didn't piss me off. I was just upset we were done gaming for the night.
No, yeah, but I mean, that whole situation pissed a lot of people off.
It did.
I mean, that's an annoying thing that I did. I try not to be the annoying. I've always said in a group, if you look around and you can't figure out who the annoying person at the table is, it's you. Yeah.
For me right now, I know I'm not the annoying one because somebody else annoys me. So
I think I know who, but we'll just leave it at that.
It's a couple somebodies.
Well, we're running shorter at the moment. So
yeah.
And I think when we change GMs, I think when Jim takes the reins, I think some of that shit's going to kind of get worked out.
Oh, most definitely.
Because he does not put up with half of what I will put up with.
I think, before I answer the question, I think after Jim runs, Scott may run. And if that's the case, after Scott runs, I may take a crack at it.
Yeah, Scott's going to run a 1 or 2 shot that he's been talking about running that thing for 6 years. So,
well, he also knows that you need a break.
Right.
And I think that's what prompted him to go, oh, I need to finish working on this.
Well, because I told Jim, I'm pretty sure Jim told Scott.
Because no, he doesn't put up with it. Thanks, Jim.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Leave your bullshit at the door.
Yes. I think that after Jim runs, after we finish yours, and after Scott possibly runs, I will definitely try something. This way, you've had an extended break.
Yeah.
So you're fresh when we come back into it.
Well, and then that is entirely possible if that goes long enough and we do it well enough. The entire 3rd season of the campaign build-along may be written and recorded and out there.
This is true.
Which means you'll have had time to forget what it's going to be before it is.
I doubt that.
Yeah, well.
With the way my memory works.
Yeah,
you'll say something, it'll spark a memory. I'm like, oh, I've heard this somewhere before. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Suggestion for you, and this is from the guy that has been doing this for a while.
Yes.
Run a module.
That's what I was planning on doing.
Smart. Yeah, don't try. My problem was I tried creating my own shit well before I was ready to do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm just now starting to get to the point where I'm creating an at least semi-coherent story.
Yeah.
For years it was, and you can ask Jim and Scott because they've been playing with me doing this for years. I would get in and then suddenly half a dozen sessions in, now all of a sudden I'm running off the cuff and that's the whole thing goes off the shelf. So
I mean, that has its ups and downs because it could be fun and it could just like, oh, how did we get from A to X?
Right. Yeah, but then what it runs into, or at least what it always runs into when I do it, is you give more money or treasure or whatever, more weapons or power or whatever, and now to try to counter that,
you have to throw harder enemies at us, and then the pay scale just continues to go up.
Right. So okay, so here's a question that I get, and I get it a lot from folks who.
You just noticed that?
Yeah.
I already said that. I read it to you.
There you go. Yeah. So we know Jim is watching.
Yeah.
Hey. Wow, lost my train of thought. Okay.
A lot of questions you get.
Oh yeah, one of the questions that I get emails on it, and I've gotten DMs on it, talking about games. Which games do I like? Which games do I prefer? I know I've done more than you have, but what is your preference?
So I am not in love with Fallout like I thought I'd be. I
Yeah.
enjoy the game. Tyler pointed it out to me. I like Skyrim more than I
Right.
like Fallout, so I like the medieval fantasy more
Right.
than I do the not high fantasy, futuristic fantasy, I guess.
Right.
But to me, Fallout's not really futuristic fantasy. It's
Apocalyptic.
apocalyptic nuclear fantasy.
Right.
And while I enjoy it, I'm not enjoying it as much as I thought I would. However, I really enjoyed Star Wars when we played it.
Right.
I really enjoyed Firefly when we played it.
Right.
I enjoyed Star Trek when we played it.
That was Jim that ran that.
Yes. So when we play stuff like that, I enjoy being the pilot. I enjoy the one who's flying the ship, maneuvering, outpacing our enemies. Because that's what I enjoy doing. I don't need to shoot at them. I don't need to be good at anything else. I need to be good at that.
Right. Yeah, and I can speak for Jim on this one too, since I know he's listening. I'll speak for him on this one. I think he's just trying to have fun. I think playing the game, but I think when it comes to post-apocalyptic, I think there are other settings, and there are other settings. I have my own issues with the way the game is written, but
Fallout specifically.
but it's it's the game we're playing, and we're playing it, and everybody's trying to have fun playing it, so we go with that. But you still haven't gotten down to what is a favorite game.
So it's hard because I really enjoyed Star Wars, but I also enjoy D&D because, again, it's the medieval fantasy for me.
Right.
But to choose between like 3.5 or 5, because there's only 2 that I've played, I think I'd have to go 3.5 because it's a lot more difficult.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It's
not as streamlined. I actually have to think about stuff. I have to think about where I'm putting my skill points, how I'm building the character. I don't just have everything. Oh, hey, you have all these skills that you can just use.
Right. Well, and I mean, when getting into that, when 3rd edition came out, there were a lot of us old schoolers that were like, yeah, that's going to be easier in a lot of ways, but damn it, they changed our game. They took our game away from us.
Yeah.
And now it's like 5th edition, and you're going back looking at 3rd edition. It's like, damn it, 5th edition took our game away from us. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because I started on 1st edition AD&D, which is why when I saw the folks with the 1st edition, they were running the 1st edition game. I'm like, ooh, 1st edition.
You have to go play with them if you want.
I don't think so. And you're like, I don't want to math. I'm like, yeah, you'd have to do a lot of math if you were doing that. But I'm gonna actually the game I actually love playing the most. I sucked at trying to run it.
Yeah.
And it stresses the shit out of Jim when he runs it. Is Shadowrun.
I did enjoy Shadowrun.
I love playing Shadowrun.
When we ended our campaign in Chicago, eating pizza, I think.
I remember.
That's the last thing I remember from that.
Yeah, see, the one thing I don't ever mention that Jim deserves credit for. He's always trying to play systems that are different than,
which I really appreciate because I like learning new systems.
Yes, and
Jim will hand me a book and I'll go, I'm making a character, and I'll have it down by the time we go to session 0.
Well, he handed me the copy of Easy D6 that he just bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already went and bought my own copy, and it's going to be next week or the weeks after. I forget, but I'm going to be we're doing a role-playing history on it.
Sweet. So, Jim, what is since I know you're listening, what is your favorite system to play or game?
Yeah, so we'll talk while we wait to see if he's going to
respond.
Yeah, I can see him sitting there going, I'm not even there, and you assholes are trying to bring me into this. Leave me
alone. This is background noise right now.
Now I will say this. If you're only going to play for like one night, Tune is freaking hilarious.
I
But
haven't played Sim.
you cannot play it as a campaign. It does not work as a campaign. It's a great, what I like to call, palate cleanser.
So that's the one like Looney Tunes, right?
Yes, it's exactly like Looney Tunes.
Okay.
And the whole idea of the campaign for success or of running the game for success or failure, can you make all the other players and the game master laugh? How much? Okay, so I enjoy a variety of systems. I like learning new challenges, delving into new and unique rule sets. True. And I also know that when I first started playing again, when I came back into town 23 years ago, joined the group that
We're currently
that
our
Scott
generational group.
Well, yeah, that Scott and Jim are the only two original members of that are currently playing, and made the transition from second edition to third edition. But Jim, even then, was kind of modifying it a little bit. I always joke when I say I don't think he's ever found a
He's
system,
never happy.
which I don't. Well, and I get it because there's
'cause-
not there, and he's not the only one. I think that's part of why I say that, because there's not a system that makes 100% sense or fits exactly the way you want to do it.
Right.
I mean, there've been a couple of times I've challenged him. I'm like, well, write your own, damn it. But that's easier said than done, because you have to have a chassis to hang everything on. And I think that's part of what pisses him off is, do you do D20? Do you do D6? Do you do easy D6? Do you do D10? Do you do
I like
no
the D10
dice?
systems. I don't think we've ever played a no dice game, but I do enjoy the D10 systems because you need so many successes. You're not just rolling a 20 and hoping, or D20 and hoping for the best outcome. You have the odds are stacked in your favor a little bit more, I feel.
Right. There are D6 variations on that. Easy D6 is also basically that same idea, only it's D6s instead of,
Right.
which means you can go raid the Yahtzee box and have dice, unless you're us, and then
You have just a set of D6s.
we buy to some bitches by the scoopful. So
I was going to say by the truckload.
yeah, I would admit to going to buy more dice today, but I think my wife's watching. So
I bought more dice today.
I know you bought more dice. I see them over there right now. So
From the dollar box. I'm like, why not?
yeah. So not only did you buy more dice, you're a cheap bastard on top of it.
No, well, I looked at the cool one of the. So I only had $5 in cash on me.
I'm not getting into that. Okay, so do we have anything else we wanted to cover? I mean, we more than covered our half hour, which I didn't think we'd do. But
See, I was trying to see how long we could go.
yeah, I mean, well, okay. What else do we have? What else do we want to cover?
Well, so the most annoying thing that I've done at the table.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get to you.
No, we did not.
I'm sitting here sucking up time like a.
Hey, that's great. I mean, we know that it would work in this format.
True.
If we can, the longest we can go is like 45 minutes. Then we know that the length of what it could turn into.
The funny thing about that is we talked about Jim doing something like this.
Yeah.
Literally, give him a topic, turn it up to 11, and kick back. I don't know that I could get a word in edgewise. Nor do I think I would want one. Just let him go.
Oh, I kind of enjoy listening to his rants, but sometimes it's annoying though.
Yeah.
Especially when we're in the middle of trying to play, and you the three of you, and you know which the three of you are.
Well, it's me, it's Jim, it's Scott. Just
Yeah.
call us all out. Scott doesn't. Scott's not watching YouTube right now.
It does get annoying. It's like, I want to play, damn it, but I'm not my dad, so I'm not going to go. All right, let's play.
I would now see. I'm not calling you dad. I'm not. But all right. So, what's the most annoying thing you've done at a game table?
So I think the most annoying thing that I've done at the table is when we first started playing Fallout 4, or the Fallout game. I won't say Fallout 4. Is when I went, oh, you were aiming when they didn't declare it before they rolled, and I realized that after I had said it, I was like, oh, I messed up. I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, but I mean, if that's the most puberty part 2 again, gosh, darn. If that is the most annoying thing that you've if that is the most annoying thing that you've ever done, you're okay. My daughter just suggested something. What did she suggest?
I don't know. I didn't get to see it.
Hand it over.
Oh, I also get up in the middle of other people's combats because it's not my turn and I get snacks.
Okay, so there you go. That's
What is
one time you wanted your players to do something in the game and they didn't, and how did you fix it, and does it happen a lot? It's like 3 questions in one.
It's good questions though.
Our group never does what I want them to do. Who the hell are you kidding?
Yeah. So how do you get them back on track? Or do you not? You just let the.
I hand them a crate of mini nukes and watch them nuke the city. Basically,
I wasn't there for that. You can't blame me.
Oh no, I knew exactly what I was doing. It was like it's like giving a it's like giving a monkey an Uzi and letting him loose. I mean, I knew what was going to happen. Good God Almighty, yeah.
What are some other times that that's happened though?
Every game, pretty much every game I run gets off the rails.
I was going to say
the blooper. The last D&D game I ran when I tried to use
when we had 2 characters each.
Well, yeah, when I was trying to use Matt Colville's thing with
the ranking system,
right?
Ranking system.
It was a
job class system,
right? And it was, and I let everybody have 2 characters, so they'd have a. Yeah, Jim goes. You can plan A, B, and C, and they'll always go with plan X, Y, and Z. No shit. But yeah, there's always something. I can look at probably every game I've ever run, and there's a point at which didn't go the way I wanted it to go. But the bigger problem than that is I didn't know where the hell I was going, and I'm the one that let it get off track.
So for the viewers who are watching, so it sounds like it's more of a, I didn't plan for this, and now we're running off the cuff kind of thing.
Well, I mean.
Well, you're running off the cuff.
You know, I mean, yeah, and Jim will put it up on the chat because I know I suck at running off the cuff. When I run off the cuff, everything goes to hell, which is why, you know, we were talking about why the campaign build along is a good thing for me. It forces me to write and stay ahead.
That's you saying that. I was saying that earlier, and I think that should something happen to that. Should something happen to the campaign build along, I think you should still do it in the background.
Yeah.
Should it come back, you be ready with material, you're ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten a little bit better at going off the cuff because I've done it a couple of times in the Fallout game, and I don't know that you would have necessarily known the difference if I hadn't said, well, shit, I didn't think this was going to happen.
Well, yeah.
So.
I thought of something that annoys me about you. Can I say it?
Well, I'm about to learn something about myself that I did not know. All right,
when you artificially inflate numbers when we're in mid combat because you didn't count on combat.
Oh yeah, that's.
That annoys me to no end.
Oh yeah. And you know the funny thing is, I've been trying to avoid that.
I know.
But it's always a bad habit that's stuck in the back of my. There's a reason for the name of the company. If I were a better GM, this wouldn't. Yeah, if I were a better GM, this wouldn't happen. But I'm trying. I've been running games for 20 something years. I've been playing even longer. I'm trying to get better.
And I think Jim can agree with me. You are getting better. It's just you're not, let's say, not at peak performance yet, I guess. But
by the way, if you're wondering why we're leaned in so close, we were trying to use 2 mics earlier, and apparently that went over like a fart in a windstorm. So we're leaning around 1 microphone. So yeah.
And until we get equipment to actually be able to broadcast off of 2, we're stuck being shoulder to shoulder.
Good thing. Yeah,
Jim agrees.
Yeah. So I mean, working on it, and I think that's the big thing to keep in mind. You know, I know I'm not the best at it, but I'm always working to get better. And it's kind of also because I've talked about before. You know, people who watch like the live stream games, like Critical Role, Dimension 20. If you're looking at that and you're saying, you know, my group's not like that group, so I must not be any good at this.
That is false.
Right. It's bullshit.
No.
And they'll tell you that it's bullshit.
Yeah, that is not the common group. The common group is a bunch of friends sitting around a table having fun. And if you guys aren't having fun, then you're doing something wrong in my mind.
Right. And yeah, I mean, if your game doesn't get interrupted 100 times in a session,
It's so annoying, but it's just what it is.
so. Is there anything else we want to cover?
Any questions from the group that's sitting around the table?
They're all looking at us like, you guys are still talking? What the hell?
Jim, do you have any questions?
They are professional. Yes, he's right. Those you're talking about, exactly. Just enjoy your time with friends and you'll have a good game. Exactly. I've said this 100 times, and there are people I know that disagree with it. Matt Colville being one. You know, because I always say, if my group's having fun, it was a good night.
Yeah.
I may not have liked some of the things I did. I may not like the way it went. But if you guys had a good night and you had fun, then it works for me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's several times you're running off the cuff. You're like, that was the best game we ever had.
Right. So, I mean, you know, like I said, there are people that are like, no, you know, everybody should be having fun. Well, look, it's true of more people than just me. There's never going to be a bigger critic of you than you.
Yeah. You are your own worst critic.
Right. And you know, I hold myself to a standard that I will never meet.
Which is why I'm always terrified of actually starting to GM or DM. I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can, you know, pull it off the way you and Jim pull it off.
Yeah, here's the thing. This is, and I say this to anybody. I had many games I thought were horrible. Yeah, that's exactly. And the thing that I'm going to say, and I know Jim agrees with me on this one too, you have to be willing to fall on your ass.
Oh yeah,
because that's how you learn. You got to be willing to fall on your ass multiple times because that's how
you learn more from failure than you do success.
Oh yeah, and that's in everything.
Yeah,
it's in everything. It's not just in running games. It's in everything. So, yeah. Okay, my neck's sore, my back's sore. I'm tired of leaning over.
Me too.
So I think what we're gonna do is one more encouragement to come on out to Archon 46 Gateway Convention Center, Collinsville, Illinois.
Come by and say hi.
Come by and say hi. Yeah, we're gonna be around. I think
we're around till what, like 6?
6, 7-ish. We'll be around for a while. Just depends on how long. It depends on how many more energy drinks I can pound down before I start vibrating off the table. Well, that would have happened years ago. They will have things going, masquerades at 8, and then all the fun, and then we'll be back tomorrow to do this all over again. So that's Gabe.
That's Wayne.
We'll see ya.